Joshua Williamson, Dan Waters, and Christopher Mitten explore the Psycho Pirate and how across the entire omniverse he's the only person untethered from it all, meaning he remembers every crisis to ever happen, something he wishes to share with someone, but in his journey to find that one person, he ends up finding the worst person imaginable. Dan Waters gets super weird with Psycho Pirate as he uses this final Secret Files issue to discuss rather complex and heavy topics like what is real and what are we as a species. It's definitely something completely different from the past installments of the miniseries, and I fully appreciate it for going into places traditional comics usually shy away from, but then really doing anything else to Psycho Pirate would be a disservice to his character, who in itself is a very strange, very meta character who is definitely getting a great push here between this and his integral role in that first Infinite Frontier issue. Darkseid's role in the book was a lot of fun as well, and the book wonderfully showcased how much he is different from previous incarnations of Darkseid. This Darkseid appears to be much stronger and cosmically aware, and he's getting ready for something big, and he needs Roger Hayden for his plans for reality itself. Christopher Mitten's gritty artwork was a pretty good fit for Psycho Pirate's story, doing some really fun stuff with paneling and page layout, even having the character pull apart the paneling as if he was pulling apart their reality, that reality being the comic book because they're comic book characters. His Darkseid reveal was also probably one of the most creative and best reveals I've seen, and I love the idea of Pirate actually being inside the classic Darkseid-ist slogan and then getting it revealed that it is actually Darkseid there with him. Infinite Frontier Secret Files issue 6 was a fantastically weird finale to the Secret Files issues, exploring some pretty complex arguments comics rarely touch on, which set the stage for Infinite Frontier, filling in some gaps from issue 1 of Infinite Frontier and teeing up Psycho Pirate for a pretty big role in DC's newest event series. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Infinite Frontier Secret Files issue 6 finds Director Bones finally getting to the Psycho Pirate file, knowing he's one he actually makes him nervous, wondering where the being is. Opening the cassette tape case, Bones finds a strange, solid white tape, but disregards it as he pops it into the player. Pressing play brings forth a scream into his head as the voice says that there is a lonely man who travels down from town to town, and the man currently walking the street is not him. The voice says that no one has seen the lonely man travel, almost like towns go to him, and if one wishes to meet the lonely man, they have to look for a building that is unusually flat. The man in the street spots such a building, investigating it, and going into the strange two-dimensional front door which leads him into a dark room, where he finds the gold Medusa mask of Psycho Pirate on the table. The man knows it really is him as Psycho Pirate leans out of the shadows. The man says that he didn't dare hope that it could really be him, as Psycho Pirate asks what he has heard as the man sits, saying that he has heard when someone puts on the mask and answers 3 questions from Psycho Pirate, he will grant them a share of his limitless power. Psycho Pirate says that power is not limitless, but the man knows that he has power over the entire human emotional spectrum, and that's all that really matters. Psycho Pirate asks the man what he's heard if he answers the questions wrongly. The man says if he knows he does that, he won't be seen again. He picks up the mask and puts it on as a voice says that the mask has no straps, but he can feel it was molded to the wearer's face, and the gold has the smell of emotions to it. Psycho Pirate asks him the first question, what can they know? And the man likes that question, thinking about it a lot, so he says that he thinks about how light can only exist to them because they have eyes, and air is only useful if they have lungs to translate it into breath, and without those tools they would not exist. The man says that they are shackled by their limitations of the human form, and they can only ever know what their senses are willing to tell them. Roger thinks that's a good answer, as the man knows that they say the pirate can see the very limits of that, and see beyond reality itself. Roger says that there was a crisis and he came unstuck from the universe, knowing the man has done his research. The man asks if that's one of his questions, but the Psycho Pirate says that that's just an observation. The man says that he has done his research, knowing everything about Roger Hayden and how he was a petty gangster before finding the mask and it made him into something more, but he never fulfilled his potential of his powers, and the man can help him with that. Roger delivers his second question, asking what is real. Thinking for a moment, the man says that only their emotions are real and the rest of life could be false, designed by someone someone else and an entire world could be a delusion or an illusion. But if one was bored, they are really bored, or if one was enraged, they are really enraged. And while the source of the emotions could be false, the emotions themselves aren't, and they are made entirely of them. Roger is happy with that answer, knowing not many would have thought about that, and he didn't think that until after he put on the mask. The man says he's been looking for a like-minded soul for ages, asking if Roger does this because he's searching for someone like him, so he doesn't have to feel alone. Roger gets to his last question, asking who is the man. The man says that he is only a man, born and raised in the middle of nowhere, and now he's a fry cook in the middle of nowhere, but he could be more. The man says he serves them all day, all of the aging locals and truckers, the only two type of people you see in this type of town, and ones who never come back. He knows that they all act like their existences have meaning, they won't be forgotten the instant they die, but the man sees as Roger does, behind the curtain, and he wants to join him and do things the Psycho Pirate does that affects the whole universe. Psycho Pirate finds this a shame, since the man is posturing, thinking that he was born and raised, but none of them are, since the universe is mere months old and it was remade again. Roger yells at the man, saying that he is like the rest of the people and trapped in the pale gutters. The man doesn't understand, so Roger pulls down the facade of the page, trapping them in a solid white room as he tells the man that finally he gets to see behind the flimsy white fabric each universe is built on, and how they are built and destroyed and forgotten. The mask seals itself on the man's panicking face as Psycho Pirate says he feels how every action is worthless and how the Medusa mask amplifies the terror. The man begins suffocating as Roger continues berating him, asking if he knows that it's possible to be scared to death. The man dies from fright and the mask falls from his face as the voice says the pirate retrieved the mask, knowing that he is the man unmoored from the reincarnations of the universe and who remembers all previous iterations, be it a crisis, a flashpoint, or a death metal. The Psycho Pirate watches from the outside. Roger hears the narrator, demanding to know who is speaking as the voice says that he thought Roger didn't listen to his own questions, since he really thinks he's outside everything and that there is nothing beyond his enlightened perspective, but Darkseid is. Psycho Pirate is suddenly transported to Earth Omega, where he meets with Darkseid, asking how the being is outside of this all. Darkseid says that at the end of everything there is despair, and at the end of all things there is the anti-life equation, and of course there is Darkseid. He wonders if Psycho Pirate would like to be remade so he won't be alone and join the despair, and Psycho Pirate agrees, being transformed into something new as Director Bones smashes the tape player, saying how much he hates Psycho Pirate very much. He knows that's enough sharing his caring time, and it's time he went and got Cameron Chase, since the world won't save itself.